Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Face the Expert webinar series by Dr. Batras, where we provide health solutions at your fingertips. Thank you for the overwhelming response that we've been receiving till date. It feels extremely good that we are adding value to your life. This is our 5th webinar today. Thank you for registering and viewing. There are more myths about obesity than there is about any other field of medicine. 1 out of 3 teenagers today are overweight or obese, and 1 out of 3 kids would probably suffer from type 2 diabetes by the end of 2050, thanks to being obese. Over the past 50 years, the consumption of sugar has tripled in the world. The hidden forces behind obesity and how we can end it is a big fat crisis. While obesity is quite an issue, being underweight is equally a problem. It brings in more ailments and more diseases that one can suffer, just like how we do while we are obese. It could lead to more problems then. So basically, weighty issues are quite an issue. They're quite a problem. Is it just a threat? Or is it now an epidemic? Maybe it's all hype. Let's get our answers today with our expert panel. From an expert who's in the field of internal medicine. He's been an honorary physician to the governor of Maharashtra. He also heads the cardiology department at Dr. Batras. Let me present to you Dr. Snehal Sanghvi. Along with him, we have our very own Dr. Bindu Sharma. She is here on the show for the 3rd time today. She is the Director of Medical Services of Dr. Batras with 19 years of experience in homeopathy. She's also a gold medalist from the Hahnemann College of UK. So we're actually sitting with wizards here. So both the experts today would be sharing many tips through the webinar. The topic for the webinar today is weight issues, complex but conquerable medically. I know you all have already sent in your question for the day, but just in case you haven't, just type in your question and click on the submit button and we'll answer all the questions live. And just in case we cannot answer them online, we will do so offline on your personal details. But before we can start off with the questions, can I request Dr. Sanghvi and Dr. Bindu Sharma to give us some information on weight issues that we all suffer from?
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the kind introduction. Today we are going to talk on the weight issues, means the obesity, that is an extra weight, and also the underweight. As she was telling, obesity is a disease. It is not that it is an hyped out thing. It is an epidemic in the true world, and this epidemic is all over the world. And it's a time to act now, because the figures are devastating. Lot of obesity is increasing all over the world and in India. 208 million people in the world die each year due to complications of obesity. That's very high figure. Also, India, it ranks 3rd. The first country in the whole world where the highest obesity is USA. Now in India we have got the figures, which is 9.8 million men are obese, 20 million women and 1.5 million children. So by 2025, you will have 18% of men obese and up to 21% or more in the women. Children, as she told, that 1 out of 3 teenagers is becoming obese, and they are far more likely to become overweight once you have a childhood obesity. And it is difficult for them to reduce weight also in the future. We'll talk about this children obesity little later. Now, there are various causes of the obesity, because many a time in our practice we see that commonest presentation, the person would come and say, sir, I'm obese but I think I have a thyroid. So I agree that whenever any person comes with obesity, one has to first rule out the medical causes before blaming the diet or the activity. And in that, the endocrine system of the body plays a very important role. because we have got some 4 or 5 important organs, endocrine organs like pituitary, thyroid, pancreas and ovaries, which play directly or indirectly role in making a person obese. Now, pituitary gland tumors are there. Some of them have extra eating or these pituitary hormones which act on the other hormones and hence they become obese. Same way, very common disorder, that is thyroid hypothyroidism. Again, people have confusion. Many people that what is hypo and hyper. I'll just say in a simple word that when the thyroid gland is working less than the normal, you become obese. Remember, if your thyroid gland is working more than required, you don't remain obese. On the contrary, you lose the weight and you become thin. So, low function of thyroid glands. Third, very common is called insulin resistant. Again, in simple words, there are people where they have insulin enough, but there is a resistance, as a result of which they'll end up with obesity. Fourth important, in practice we see PCOD, a very common word in young girls coming with the menstrual disorders or irregularity, little hairs, and they have obesity. Of course, people are getting very much aware about it, but again it remains one of the important cause for the obesity in young and adolescent females. And last but not least, not very common, but still it is there, and that is called Cushing syndrome. Cushing syndrome means there is a gland in the body called adrenal gland, and this again works more and person becomes the obese. So this is as far as the causes of the obesity is there. Also, one word or a sentence that there are certain drugs also give obesity. Just like steroids are there, some hormone preparations are there, they give obesity. Now let us see what are the bad effects of obesity. Obesity you have found out you are an obese. Now complications are, it can be on all the systems. It can start that one can have a blood pressure, one can have heart problems, coronary artery disease, they can have the stroke, diabetes and dyslipidemia, that is high cholesterol and triglycerides. Also, the incidence of the gallbladder problem, also what we call fatty liver, is more common in the obese people. Some people have tendency for gallstones, they have breast cancer, colonic cancers and the prostate cancers. One very common effect or side effect of obesity is osteoarthritis. You must be observing today in the society that after about 35-45 age, lot of women and men with obesity go for a knee replacement therapy. Knee replacement because the overweight has been there, the knee has been not looked after, and ultimately they'll end up with this. So ultimately, if you realize that it is not a single disease, it is responsible for many diseases, and the health budget in various countries including our India runs into millions and billions of rupees. Now there are signs and symptoms. I would say there are two things. Obese people usually come to you, either you'll say that I am looking obese, I am feeling obese, or they have a breathlessness or shortness of breath. Two, they may come with the pain in joints. Three, very common complaint is snoring. Of course, normally spouse or the partner would complain that my husband or she is snoring all the way and the sleeps are getting disturbed. Plus, as I explained you in previously, osteoarthritis, backache, because of the structure of the body, whenever they are trying to bend down or so, lot of backache and the disc problem comes. Further, there is a desire but the performance is poor. Because of the physical inability, the sexual problems and sexuality problems between the couples are also found increasing because of the obesity. So thus, if you see, it is almost going against almost all the systems of body, from joint to heart to liver to kidney. Besides this, the one more important thing that obese person usually have, self-confidence is not there. They may feel depressed or they have a lack of self-esteem. When they are mobile, when they are going somewhere, they feel out of place and the odd. So thus, one thing is very sure, that obesity is the disease. Two, obesity is increasing. It is an epidemic all over the world, and India stands the third in the country as a country for the increased number of obesity. Knowing this now, that yes, obesity is a problem and it creates medical problems, so what to do now? How to decide? So the first thing is very simple method, how to check your obesity. So what should be your weight? People don't know the weight. They must know what is your weight. There is a very simple formula called Broca's index, where you can find out the weight, ideal weight for you. Whatever your age, you must know your height in centimeters, minus 100, and that will be number of kilogram of weight for you. Simple, if person's height is 167 centimeters, for example, you remove 100 and 67 should be ideal weight. Of course, this is not the rule of the thumb, but it will be somewhere nearby. I'll tell you about the lean body mass and fat later on, but this is the rough formula, so you can in 1 minute decide whether you are overweight or no. Further, scientifically, there is a method called body mass index. Of course, thanks to the newspaper and seminars, etc., people are becoming aware about this, and many of you must be knowing what is BMI. But this is a body mass index which is calculated again from the weight divided by height into meter square. There are ready-made apps available on phones or otherwise, and you can immediately calculate what is your BMI. So first you from the Broca's index you can calculate your ideal body weight. Then with the formula of BMI you can calculate what is your BMI. BMI means body mass index. This BMI gives you what we call the amount of fat roughly, and that will tell you whether you are obese or not. Now normal BMI is around 20 to 25, up to 24.5 it is normal. So if anybody has more than 25, it is called as overweight. Now one thing, that all overweight people may not be obese. So from 25 to around 29 point plus, it is called overweight. More than 30 or more, it is taken as an obesity. That means if your BMI, that is body mass index, is 32, that means you are definitely obese, and if you grade, it will be around grade 1. Very simple it is. That 30 to 34 is grade 1 obesity, more than 35 is taken as a grade 2, and more than 40 is called a severe obesity. In fact, this is called malignant obesity. More than 40 is not only the disease, that means that you have a disease, you have some problem, and it has to be taken and immediately taken into action, and you need a treatment like a malignancy. So it is called malignant obesity when your BMI is more than 40. On the other side, as we were talking, that we want to speak also about the underweight, because it is again a weight issue. Weight issue means it can be high weight or more weight, extra weight. On the other side, we have also got undernourished. Unfortunately, in countries like India, Ethiopia, Africa, the undernutrition or malnutrition or underweight is also equally a problem. So when the BMI is less than 18.5, that means this person is malnourished or underweight. Of course, then further division comes, which again we will talk in the later part of the program. Now, so another thing, once you know your BMI is high, there is also simpler way, and that is the waist circumference. This is called central obesity, a very popular word, where what happens, one has to take the waist circumference. It is again an indicator of overweight and obesity. A waist size of more than 80 centimeters, or it is called an abdominal obesity, person would be labeled as an obese. Or for a 90 centimeters, in cases of males, it is taken as an obese. So remember two figures. Measure your waist, 80 centimeters for female and 90 centimeters for males. Now, for your information, these figures are different for us, that is Asians. Otherwise, for Western population, these figures are high. So don't read those say the figures, otherwise you will get confused. Coming to day-to-day activity thing. So we have established that you are obese or he or she is an obese by simple formula of calculating weight, doing your BMI, or at least there is nothing, take a measuring tape and take your waist circumference. Now the central obesity is also equally important, and that also is equally dangerous, and it gives same problem as one would get from the generalized obesity. Now let us have some idea about the different activity and how it can help you to lose the weight, or at least you should be aware about it, because I have seen people going and doing exercise in gymnasium for 45 minutes, but taking an elevator for the 2 stories or taking a car from door to door from the house to the till the gymnasium. No. So there are simpler ways also by which if somebody is alert, being an active, I always tell people that it is not a must, you must do an exercise also, but if you are doing an activity throughout the day consciously, you will definitely keep fit. So taking staircase, about it will give you 15 minutes, will give you lose 100 calories. Then just parking into a car into a parking lot and walking will again give you some loss of 30 calories. Doing some exercise on the chair, there are a lot of people now, two commonest thing for the obesity is, one is the sedentary lifestyle, today's modern lifestyle. So even if person is in office, can do some exercise in chair, sit down, get up, deep breathing exercise, moving legs, and that also will give you lose of enough calories rather than just sitting down and doing nothing. Cleaning the room, washing the clothes, and dancing socially. In fact, in all these activities, dancing aerobically, it gives you loss of more calories than compared to other activities which I have told. Now again, this is for the viewers information that various different types of the exercise like swimming, walking, the brisk walking, jogging, and even the rope or etc. cycling, all this when you do it for half an hour, this is a chart to show you how many calories averagely you burn. If you see averagely, it is between 200 to 250 calories, except walking where you may not lose the calories, because why, what happened that I have seen again many people walking for 1 hour thinking that they have lost lot of calories. Please don't equate your sweating with the calorie loss. By walking in such humid climate, you walk for 30 minutes and you sweat lot, and if you think that you have lost too much of weight or loss of calories, I am sorry, it's a wrong information. Coming to food pyramid, there is a very famous this triangle or the pyramid for the food, where it has been suggested that the food at the base of this pyramid, which you can have 6 to 8 helpings in the day, which includes the rice, cereals, potatoes, then the little upper part safer, which is the different kinds of vegetables and certain selected fruit, because I say selected because some sweet fruits may not be included in this. And then going up further on the pyramid, you can have meat, poultry, fish for non-vegetarian people, and also have milk products or eggs and yogurt and cheese group it is called. And going up further, that is a minimum amount of the things which are fats, oils and sweets. So in nutshell, that the thing which is at the top of the pyramid, you have to take minimum amount in frequency and in the amount wise. 2 going down, you can increase, and as far as the vegetables and fruits are concerned, you can have highest. Now the how to eat, once you have decided that you need this much time of calories and what are the different items you are going to eat, one must divide. One should not eat in one time. Today's fast lifestyle, I know people who skip breakfast, run and then have a cup of coffee with 2-3 teaspoonful of sugar and getting back into the night and having a huge dinner, maybe with alcohol, without alcohol, with juice and a lot of cold drinks. The totally wrong lifestyle, and totally wrong thing for the weight it is concerned. You must have multiple meals, like you divide your meals into breakfast, lunch, dinner. Also, you should have mid-morning snack, afternoon tea and evening meals. Evening meals means, suppose if you are having a dinner at about 8:30 or so, at 6:30 one sandwiches or something, which, because what happens that the body's metabolism plus the hunger, when you have not eaten for a long time, you tend to eat wrong food, large amount, and the metabolism by that time is such that the tendency for putting on weight is come. So, I suggest that 40% of your calories should be taken in breakfast. Remaining 60%, as it is shown in this chart, should be divided: 10% for mid-morning snacks, 25% for lunch, 10% for tea. Tea means afternoon tea with maybe something snacks, or mid-evenings. Together I would put 15% between lunch and dinner, another 15% of the calories, and dinner should be divided only 10% or maybe maximum 15%. Plus, one another thing, that whenever you are eating dinner, you should try and take early dinner. In a lot of European countries and places where the dinners are taken about 6:37, so at that time your metabolism is faster, and as you go late and late, the consumption of your calories which you have taken into fat is high, your metabolism is low, you have a tendency to sit down on the couch and you don't do any activities. So, better to take big amount of breakfast, adequate amount of lunch, 2 small snacks, and minimum or a very small amount of the dinner. Now, I will just tell you the 7 simple steps. First, whenever you take a plate, you try to have a small plate. I always tell you, take a small plate. There is the one formula where you take only 9 inches plate. So, take a small plate and fill up your plate with veggies and half of it, and plus the other things which you take, put it in the rest half. To have fruits for the snacks. Whenever possible, whenever you are hungry, instead of having chips, you have what you call fruits, and fresh fruits, because they have again not many calories. Through consume calorie-free beverages. But word of caution, I don't mean Coke, diet-free Coke or diet-free Pepsi. You have liquids, you have the beverages, but not diet, neither having too much of calories. Cokes and things are not. You can have a fresh lime water, or if at all, small amount of the juice. Exercise every day 30 minutes. I say this in addition to the activity. The whole day you are going to be inactive. You can do activity, as I told you, also when you are sitting in your office, when you are sitting and watching TV. So, continue to be active, and plus 30 minutes of moderate exercises. The desserts, again, after having a dinner, people tends to have lot of desserts. So, please be conscientious about taking what dessert you are taking. You must be aware about the calories, about how much dessert you are taking, and reduce it in the amount and also the type or the quality of the dessert. Eat healthy breakfast and choose skim milk, because all over our country and in otherwise, everybody has a tendency, 2 or 3 things I feel, which they are milk, the cold drinks, then these tea, coffee, these things are rampantly, you will see anywhere and everywhere in our society. So, you have a milk, but a skim milk, preferably without the sugar. So, these are the small simple steps to remember, that one wants to avoid obesity, one wants to reduce weight, then keep conscious about your plate, what you are eating, how much you are eating, your activity, and of course your exercise. Depression is a word, very important, because our satiety center is there, that gives you satisfaction. On the other side, certain foods like chocolates, like sweet foods, carbohydrates, it is giving you not only satiety satisfaction, but some endorphins are released. So, that is why people who are depressed tend to eat more. I would say that there is related both the things. Depressed people eat more, they become obese, and they go into further depression or the loss of self-esteem. So that one has to take care of the depression and the psychological factors also. Talking about this is as far as the obesity is concerned. Now there are one or two conditions which are again found very commonly in young generation, particularly women, called anorexia nervosa and bulimia. So I will just say a little word about this. Anorexia nervosa means people stop eating only. They don't eat, they continuously think about the weight, they have depression, and what happens, even sometime if they take food, they do purging or they induce vomiting, then it becomes bulimia. So one is anorexia where they don't eat only, and they become not only marasmic or malnourished, they lose calorie, they lose nutrition, and ultimately they get into dehydration, electrolyte imbalance. So one should avoid this excess of dieting, what I call, or excess of what we call, yes, then the what we call the vomiting, etc., one should not do it. This is bulimia where people induce vomiting. So the final thing is that one can become Laurel from the Hardy, and that will give you the fitness and the wellness and the what you call the proper weight. Now summary wise, how to manage your overweight issue? Simple. Identify your problem, motivate yourself, put exercise in diet and medicines at times. I will not speak about the allopathic medicine, but there are some homeopathic medicine which are, Dr. Bindu, please can you tell us and throw some light about the homeopathy and the overweight?
Thank you, Dr. Sanghvi. I think it is really good information which I am very sure that everybody would be benefited if followed. Let me explain to you that homeopathy is a very good science. It's many years it has been used in UK and South Asia for weight loss. Surprising, isn't it? But there are more than 100 medicines available for this particular condition. Now you do have many other medications, like you have herbal, and they are just directed to reduction of metabolism or they are reduction of the fat. But in homeopathy, what we do is that we try to treat the underlying cause. And the most important aspect about homeopathy is there is no side effect. That's the most important thing, and I think that's what we all worry about. So if you lose weight without side effects, nothing like it. And just to support that, it's really very famous in UK, and people do use a lot of medications over the counter. These medicines are available all on the counter. What is important here is that we have to know that you just can't take it like that. You have to understand what is your underlying cause, what is the reason that you are becoming fat, what are the underlying psychological factors which are involved. So it's a holistic approach which we have. We have a lot of scientific studies which states that there was one study which was conducted, and it was done on the thyroid women who had put on too much of weight, more than 100 women, and we gave the homeopathy, and we saw that not even the TSH, which is a part of the hypothyroid, not even the TSH came down, but also they lost weight. So it was a real a root cause analysis, and root causes, from the root cause we treat the disease. Another study which was conducted where a lot of children were given the medicines and they lost weight. I mean, you will be surprised that homeopathy helps depending upon the kind of fat distribution people have. Suppose you have a central obesity, we have different medicines. If there is females who are going through menopause or going through some hormonal conditions, there are different medications. So that's how the homeopathy helps, and I think we'll take up the more questions and I'll address how homeopathy helps as per the conditions.
I totally agree with Dr. Bindu that the homeopathy medicine does play a very important role. And let us now have some talk about the underweight. Malnutrition are two types. One is the weight and another is a specific malnutrition. The commonest is what we call protein malnutrition. Now in India, about 40% of people underweight in the total underweight population of the world. 102 million of men, women and 2 million children are underweight. Now, there are two things. Malnutrition means, as I told you, one is the caloric malnutrition, where the person will be underweight. Two, they will have loss of subcutaneous fat. Two, the children will have protein or specific vitamin deficiency malnutrition. And there may be a stunted growth. So, one has to be clear that underweight, stunted growth and the specific malnutrition are different. Unfortunately, the time is so short that it is not possible to explain you details like obesity about the malnutrition also. I think it calls for another webinar, but sometime if we get chance in future, we will also explain you the details of malnutrition and how our country is facing this problem of malnutrition. Another thing, as I show you in this slide or this chart, that there are children who are what we call overweight and the children who are underweight. Over 15 million children are estimated to be overweight. Then every third child is malnourished. So, it is an astonishingly high figure. On one side, 1 in every third child is becoming obese. On the same other side, there are children who are malnourished. This is really one has to get afraid about. Again, in underweight, we have as far as we have concerned, medical science, there besides the nutrition, homeopathy, again I am sure Dr. Bindu, there is something to offer for these malnourished children and adults.
Yes, we have lot of medications, but I think, sir, lot of questions are streaming. I can see a lot of patients getting anxious to ask questions. So, I think during the questioning I will be able to reply that, but yes, of course, we have a lot of medicines.
Okay, now you can all ask questions and we'll answer your problems.
Thank you, Dr. Sanghvi, and thank you, Dr. Bindu. And yes, there are tons of questions coming in. I just hope we can cover up everything. So the first question, somebody who's been writing 2 or 3 times is Mr. Ritesh Shah from Vadodara. He says, I am 116 kgs and only 30 years old. I like to play cricket, but I get tired. I want to lose my weight fast. Is there a way to lose weight?
See, again, one has to go systematically. First, he should rule out if he is suffering from any endocrine disease, what I told you. He must have been an obese child and obese adolescent person, I am sure. 2, he has to go systematically with the diet, exercise, and if there is any issues like anxiety and the stress because of his profession or whatever he is doing, his vocation, study, etc., one has to handle all together in a comprehensive fashion and take help of medications whichever is not having any side effects or so. Okay. And I am sure, but there is nothing like a fast. It has to be planned and over a period of time.
Dr. Bindu, would you like to add some light?
I think sir has already spoken that we need to find the exact reason, but as far as one point which sir has spoken is stress. Yes, of course, the stress plays a very big role in obesity. We had a slide also, because in stress you tend to eat because that gives you comfort. Okay, so again I can tell you there are a lot of studies which was conducted in homeopathy, and you'll understand that what happens in stress, that your ability to cope with the stress is reduced and you just get anxious or you get depressed. You all will be surprised that this coping mechanism changes with homeopathy. So I think yes, of course, first of all you have to make sure that you rule out, and then of course take the medicines accordingly.
Thank you, Dr. Bindu. We go on to the next question from Vinita Mehra, Ludhiana. She says, can I lose weight with hypothyroid at the age of 52?
If you have hypothyroid, of course you have to correct first of all. You get into the euthyroid stage with the medications, and once you have euthyroid, means your thyroid deficiency is corrected, then you start the dieting. You have to calculate how many calories you need, and because normally everybody under the normal circumstances and not much activity needs about say 1800 calories of diet.
Okay.
She has to lose weight, then every day one has to reduce around 700 to 800 from the diet is regular calories.
Okay.
So it may be happening that she is taking lot of calories, and now she has to go first find out what is ideal calories and reduce further 500 to 700 calories, and with some exercise and activity I am sure she can lose the weight.
Okay. Dr. Bindu, something on
Yeah,
hypothyroid?
As you said that you have a thyroid, of course you may or may not be taking thyroid medications, but as sir said that if you are taking thyroid medicines and your thyroid is under control, then of course you have to make sure that you are taking good care of your lifestyle and the calorie intake. Sir, one point maybe I can put for the audience, that very easy to calculate how much calorie you need is that sir told you from Broca's index that your weight minus weight in centimeter minus 100. Suppose if you are 160 and you have to minus 100, so your weight, ideal weight should be 60 kg. In female, if it is 150, your ideal weight should be 50 kg. Now if you want to calculate how much energy calorie you have to consume in a day, what you have to do, you have to multiply that by 30. And that's the calorie you have to eat. So suppose if you are 50, you are not supposed to eat more than 15 calorie, because most of us are sedentary life, we are working office, coming home, and we are not doing so much of physical exertion. And this 1500 calorie you divide in the morning, maybe 500 in the morning, then 300 in the lunch, and then 100. So that is how that thing which sir spoke. So I just wanted to, I think this was a very useful information. Now as far as hypothyroid is concerned and homeopathy is concerned, there are a lot of researches which has been conducted. What homeopathy does, I mean, there were a lot of females with hypothyroid, they were taken on the research trial, and we saw that with homeopathy, not even the TSH came down. We also get a lot of cases in our clinics, not necessarily they come only for thyroid. They come maybe for the hair problem, or they may come for the skin problem, and we diagnose that underlying cause is that, because now a lot of problems happen because of that. So we have also seen that TSH, it's not even TSH comes down, people with the common with hypothyroid is that your metabolism is at fault, so you do develop cholesterol, these are all one by one things which happen. So in this research study we saw that not even the TSH came down, also the cholesterol level came down, and of course when these two things are under control, weight reduction happens faster. So that's the time that you have to make sure that your exercise and diet is. So of course homeopathy is very, very good for the hypothyroid. Again, here we do not have single medicine, you must understand this, that like you have headache and you give crocin, in homeopathy I think for thyroid we have more than 500 remedies. Why I say that? Because it depends on the kind of symptoms patient come with, the kind of problem patient come with, the personality of the person, the stress levels of the person, what are the causative factors of the thyroid, and these are the all things which are taken, and what is the emotional state of the patient. When these things are taken into consideration, out of 500, 600 medicines, we give you one medicine which suits you. So hypothyroid is treated very individualistically in homeopathy, and that's the beauty of homeopathy.
Excuse me, I will add to her. She is absolutely right, because the most common cause of treatable cause of obesity is the hypothyroid. So once the thyroid is controlled, and then all other measures are taken, I am sure that you can get a very good results as far as the achieving the ideal weight is concerned.
Okay. Okay, so we go on to the next question from Raghu Krishnan, Chennai. He says, are herbal medicines good to lose weight?
In this, I have got always a thing that whenever you talk of herbal, there are herbal medicines which are not identified. The contents are not known, Ayurvedic or herbal, whatever word you call. Okay. And this may be dangerous. So one should not use any unidentified herbal medicine just because of an advertisement or the publicity. Scientifically it is wrong, because if they contain the metals, it can create the problem as far as the kidney and other organs are concerned. But on the other side, sometimes some simple remedy like cinnamon powder is taken, or isabul husk is taken as a fiber, and whatever small amount of the weight loss it helps, I think there is nothing wrong in using that. Okay. But only herbal medicine because of advertisement, just available on the counter without knowing the contents, I would be afraid and I will not recommend.
Okay. Dr. Bindu?
I'll agree with sir, and of course homeopathy has no side effects, and I have already spoken that how it helps patients.
Okay. Okay, so the next question is from Archana Roy, Kolkata. How quickly should my mother lose her weight, as she's suffering from osteoarthritis, and the doctor said she needs to lose 15 kgs. What is the best way?
Now, This has to again go into stepwise fashion, but one has to know what is her basic weight. For example, she is 120 kg weight. So about 8% or 10% maximum, she can lose it over about 8 months to 1 year. Suppose she is 100 kilogram, then she can lose about 10 kilograms in next 6 to 8 months time.
Okay.
There are something called different fast weight losing, but that as fast as it goes, the weight goes, it comes back the same fast. So she has to plan out and reduce the weight maybe every week or every month. I would say about 1.5 to 2 kg. So at the end of the 6 months, this is also again quite aggressive, and at the end of 6 months about 10-12 kg. So that's the way one goes about, and then spread it out over the whole year. Maintenance becomes very important. So she has to do a dieting properly, and then she has to take care.
Okay. Dr. Bindu, something from
Yes.
homeopathy?
See, this is a vicious cycle which everybody gets into. Osteoarthritis is definitely at the after age of 40-45 people start experiencing. So there is a vicious cycle. Now a patient puts on weight because he cannot walk too much. If he walks too much, little bit also if he walks, he gets the pain, so he walks less. When you walk less, the activity decreases, you put on more. So there is a vicious cycle.
That's
and I have seen lot of patients, they come to the clinic and it's very difficult for them to lose weight. So most important is the pain control. Okay, so with homeopathy again, you have to see what is the extent of osteoarthritis. If it is not very severe, where it calls for the transplant, but most of the time we have seen lot of patients, they take lot of painkillers and they get lot of acidity and they get lot of other problems. With homeopathy, we do have medicine. So what is our approach is that let the pain get controlled, side by side take the diet as sir is speaking, and then once the little pain is decreasing, they have to start working out. When they start walking slowly, and then of course the exercise, quadriceps strengthening exercise are very, very important, because again there is another vicious cycle where when patients do not walk, their muscles become weak, and there is a weakening of the thigh muscle. So you must strengthen them till your pain decreases, and then I think this is how. So homeopathy again has a good role in playing into the obesity related with osteoarthritis and old people.
Okay. So we go on to the next question from Martin De Cruz from Doha. My weight is 98 kgs and I am a diabetic. What can you suggest to lose weight?
Same, that diabetic and obesity are interrelated, because he may be having obesity and insulin resistant, and that's why he's diabetic. And because of diabetic, further the insulin resistant and obesity comes. So in these circumstances, he has to control his diabetes with the medicines which do not increase the weight. There's some of the diabetic medicine like sulfonylurea. I don't know what medicine he is taking, but they usually increase the appetite. 2, they increase the weight. Insulins, for example, they again increase the weight. So he has to first control the diabetes with the medicines like metformin. If it is allowed, he has to consult his physician, and if metformin he can take, it will help him to reduce his diabetes and weight both together. So one, he has to decide what medicine should take for diabetes. Some newer injections have come like liraglutide, which again helps you to reduce your weight. The second thing is same. Once his diabetes is optimally controlled, he has to do a combination of diet, calculate the ideal body weight, calculate the number of kilos he has to lose, plan it out, divide his dieting, and with help of exercise and of course some weight losing medicines, as Dr. Bindu has been telling, if they are not going to be against his diabetes, again we can add that, so to facilitate the whole process properly and fast.
So what happens in diabetes, as sir said, that there are two types, of course, type 1 and type 2, and obesity and diabetes interrelated, as sir said, and that's what happens, that a lot of patients say that not even with the diabetic medicines, but even the minerals and vitamins they take, they say that my hunger has increased, and then they again end up eating because they have fear, they have phobia of hypoglycemia.
Right.
So they end up eating, and end up eating most of the time glucose and the sugar, and that's how the problem happens. There was a study which was conducted in Athens many years back, I think 15 years back, and we saw that there was a control group they were on the metformin and the medicines and still with lot of complication. One of the complication is obesity. That's what we are talking right now.
Right.
And when we gave homeopathy to the other group, there was 87% lesser complications than the other group, control group. And how homeopathy helps, I am not saying that, you know, wherever if it is insulin, they have to take insulin and they must take it, they should not take chance. These are silent killers of this decade, and as we know that we are going to be the first #1 in diabetes, and most of it, sir, if I am not wrong, is happening because of the obesity.
Yes.
First obesity is happening and then the diabetes is coming. I think we must control. So, again here homeopathies are sweet. So, people have a myth that, you know, they cannot take homeopathy because it is sweets, but then our medicines are prepared in the milk of goat. I mean, that is those pills which are there and they do not have any calories. So, do not worry, but still you should not take beyond 3-4 pills. So, how homeopathy helps again here is that, you know, there are no specific medicines in homeopathy. There are a lot of specific medicines also, like you have cesium, mother tincture and all, but that may decrease for the time being the diabetes, but you need to take constitutional medicines where we understand your personality, and depending upon your coping mechanism with the stress, we give the medicines, and definitely then the sugar also comes down.
Okay. So basically the sweet pills deal with big, huge problems. Okay. So the next question comes from Kritika Bahadur from Shillong. I have put on 10 kgs after pregnancy. My baby is 5 months old. What should I do to lose weight?
See, till she is lactating, if one has to be not very aggressive in the losing weight, if already she has gained the weight. Actually, if somebody properly looks after during the pregnancy and immediate postpartum period, when there is a myth that one has to take lot of food and lot of high caloric diet, one has to definitely take nourishing diet. The nutrition is very important during the pregnancy and postpartum period, when particularly she is breastfeeding. Right. So during that, of course, the nutrition means not the sugar, nutrition means not the calories. There are empty calories in various food. So in the old grandmother style and old, they give a lot of kadas with sugar and sweets and shira and things like that. That will, of course, they will put on the weight. And unfortunately, what happens that these females in future, once even the lactation is stopped, they have been so much used to this sweet food and extra calorie food, and that myth in the mind that I will become weak and child will become weak, and the vicious circle or cycle goes on and goes on. True. Until another 10-15 years, Dr. Saab, I was never so fat, just my 2 deliveries and I have become fat. But I think no, one has to be very careful. Once the lactation stops, one has to take seriously the diet part, the exercise part, and I am sure the everywhere around we will see the beautiful women.
Sure. Yeah, especially in Indian culture, I have seen that the old grandmothers and all, they want you to eat 10 kg of ghee. They have to take that much, and that comes in the form of laddus and all. So I think that is not required. What is required is nutritious diet, with this full of vitamins and natural things. And the most important is being a mother. I think you should not be in a hurry to lose weight, but you can do toning exercises.
Yes.
You can do crunches, you can do lot of things, you know. If you are cesarean, be careful, you have to ask your surgeon, but of course you can do toning exercises and eat nutritious food. Don't eat ghee and fat.
Sure. Next question from Priya Bangera, London. I am 22 years old. Since childhood I am underweight. Whatever I eat, I do not put on weight. Although I am 5 feet 4 inches in height, I weigh only 40 kgs. What should I do to put on weight?
Yes. Now again, it is a malnutrition. Like obesity is on the positive side, and underweight is also a kind of a malnutrition only. She is 22. The first she has to find out if she has any thyroid disorder in the form of thyrotoxicosis, not the hypothyroid.
Right.
Hypo means less functioning and hyper means the extra thyroid functioning. The first thing is to do that. 2, she has to find out about how many calories she is taking, okay, and how many calories she is burning. That's the second part. Okay. Third, the other common causes for the underweight is, you know, repeated diarrheas. If something is wrong with the gastrointestinal tract, sometimes you have a gluten-induced enteropathy, what we call wheat allergy.
Right.
Sometimes you got a lactose intolerance. What happens that these young people or children, they will avoid eating this food because they are always worried and concerned that they will end up with the diarrhea. So one thing is that, which is very important, to find out if there is any septic focus, any thyroid disorder in terms of thyrotoxicosis or high functioning thyroid, plus any malabsorption or the problems of the gastrointestinal system. Of course, then always in all the diseases the mind comes into the picture. If she is having any anxiety, some what which I was telling you, the anorexia nervosa type of picture, she has been having too much of stress, that also can give rise to inability to put on the weight. So one is to go into a dietetic history, finding out and ruling out any psychological factors, environmental factors, some diseases, and then after that you calculate, like we are calculate the negative calories diet for the obese people. Here you calculate the daily requirement, say it is around 1800 to 2000, what I do for practical purpose, give another 700 to 800 extra calorie and some extra rest. If too much activity is there, and I am sure she will put on weight.
Okay. Dr. Bindu, something on underweight from
I think Priya, first of all, being underweight is okay. Don't feel you are beautiful and you are good and you are fit. Okay, as sir said, you please rule out if anything underlying is there. It's always better to be underweight rather than overweight. Okay, at the same time, we really need to understand the psychological evaluation in case there is, if you are studying and you are anxious, that makes a big difference. If you are worried about something, stress is there, that also is. So first you rule out, and then definitely you can approach any of the clinic. Homeopathy is a detailed case taking what we do. We understand actually the psyche of the person. We understand what is it that the person is worried about, what is it that kind of stresses he has or she has, and how is it that person is coping with them, and then we give the medicines. So accordingly then the medicine should be okay for you, and I think it should be not a problem. We do have medications like we have specific medicines also, like for on the counter you will find OTC product like alpha, which is very common. So maybe you start with that. In case you are not better, meet our doctor. Okay, alpha 1 teaspoon you take it 2 times a day, and you see whether your appetite is becoming better, provided you rule out all the diseases.
Okay. We go on to the next one from Tripti Goradia, Gwalior. I'm a 35-year-old lady and my stomach bulges out of my clothes all the time. Is there a possibility to lose weight on my tummy specifically?
Yes, again one has to, this has become a central obesity basically, that abdominal fat is more, and naturally they will also have a visceral fat, and it has to be attended. You cannot, she may be thin otherwise, maybe weight wise also one has to check, but only abdominal girth is high and she is having a central obesity. In that case again the 3-4 things come approach wise.
Yeah.
The calorie diet one has to calculate, one has to go into a lesser calorie of diet, basic activities and exercise which we have talked. Here one more thing which can do is certain machines one can take help of. Of course, but that machines has to be at the recognized place and approved by the health authorities, where they have a vibration thing. It is basically a mechanical thing where by using that machine in the proper and expert supervision, they will mobilize the fat from that area, and definitely plus with the exercise for the abdominal muscle toning and certain crunches which will make her abdominal muscles or the core muscle strong, eating giving rise to less calories. So exercise, less calories, and then these machines which are available can give rise to reduction of the abdominal girth over a period of the time. So she can definitely, she has to do everything possible, and she will be able to.
I think at Dr. Batra's we have B-trim, which what sir was speaking about, and only machines don't work alone. There has to be, everything all together. It has to be holistic approach. So we have Fab 5 approach at Dr. Batra's. Now this machine, what does it do? It does 3 things. One thing is it disintegrates the fat at particular area. If you have on your stomach or you have on your, so I think you have on your belly. So there will be fat disintegration from that particular area. So what you will see as a result, not the weight reduction, but you will see that your inches will be less. Okay. If you are getting into 34, you will get into 32 inches trousers or jeans,
Okay.
So it disintegrates the fat. Second is it's anti-cellulite. Cellulite is very difficult to get out of the body. Okay, so it does help into that. And the third is it contours and the body toning happens. And 5-FAB approach is basically this machine, which is the passive lipolysis. You have lipolysis which is surgical, okay, where sir can
Liposuction it is called, yes.
liposuction,
Suction,
which
yeah.
sir can throw some light about it, and then this is passive. So it's a non-surgical. Okay, so you lose weight from there. And second is of course the homeopathy, lifestyle changes as we have been speaking all along the webinar, and of course the nutrition, which is very important. And the most important is home regime. So whenever any institution you visit and you just take the machine, or you just only come to us also, unless until you maintain at home, you won't lose the weight, because then it will be a yo-yo. So you will put on, you will lose.
Excuse me, I will just add one thing, that as she was talking about the liposuction, that we have talked a lot about the exercise and diet and of course homeopathic medicine. Two quick comments, that the allopathic medicines till now have not been many, because many a time I ask this question every day, that do you give me some medicines to reduce the weight? No, it is not possible, because there are only 2 or 3 which are FDA approved, and that too also they give lot of side effects. So if people around who are here have a myth or they have a wrong idea that it will give rise to loss of weight with the medication, I am sorry, it is not easy. 2, when people have a malignant obesity, which I told you, more than 40 BMI, or more than 35 with some comorbid conditions like diabetes, hypertension, heart problem, then one has to also consider in today's time that if they can think of certain bariatric surgery.
Yes.
Because I think otherwise today's discussion will be incomplete. So bariatric surgery has to be considered in malignant obesity. 2, when it is more than 35 with 2 or 3 comorbid conditions all over the world, there are some guidelines for this bariatric surgery. So this also with the viewers and the people should keep in the mind.
Okay, so
even child obesity is a big problem. I think we should take that as the last question. So child obesity is increasing. I think even I have a daughter, and so sir, if we can, I think it's going to be endemic very soon.
Yes, I'll tell you, child obesity is telling you frankly, when you look around in the society, it is really, you get scared. 1 in every 3rd child or a 4th child, particularly in high socio-economic strata, you will see that they are obese.
True.
And they think that as my child grows, it will become okay and they'll be normal. No. In fact, they'll continue the same thing in adolescent, teenage, and they will become unhealthy, obese adult and getting blood pressure, diabetes. So one is to become conscientious about the child obesity. 2, all the parents should see that the child have lot of activities, sports activities, exercise activities, and rewarding child with the sweets and chocolate and the cone of ice cream and all the junk food.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you has to totally stop it, and they should be rewarded in a different way. Unfortunately, time is less, but otherwise, as far as the prevention is concerned, any disease prevention of obesity is equally important. No time is there, but people should be conscious about the junk food. People should start reading table. Obama has just issued a notice 2 days back that all food article in America now, they will be mentioning that how much sugar in the food is there and how much is added by that company. There was a lot of hue and cry, but I think it is a great step. So all of us should see the label, see the calories, look at the sugar, unnecessarily sugar, and take the diet like that way.
Yeah. So basically, I think there's a mall mania, and then we have this junk food,
advertisement,
MACD
TV
and
all these
MACD
things is problem.
and all the time they are sitting in front of TV and are eating, and we don't have that concept of them running around, playing in the garden. And so I think we need to get back to those old days, and I think physical activity is very important, and we need to discipline our children. So once in a day. Now I want to talk about homeopathy, that how homeopathy helps, Now we have different types of children. You'll be surprised, that we don't have single remedy for one child. It's different, it depends how the child personality is, whether he's lazy, we have a different medicine. If he is hyperactive and still eating too much, we have a different medicines. He is just loving only sweets and sweets, we have a different medication. So, it is a beautiful science. You can only come and experience it. So, anytime anybody who needs help for this, of course, homeopathy plays a great role.
Great.
Summarize.
Thank you, Dr. Snehal, and
Thank you so much.
Dr. Bindu. I know there's so much to talk about, and there are tons of questions that we're missing out too on, but there are so many that we really can't complete it within 1 hour. I think this calls for another session, as you rightly
Yes.
mentioned,
Sure.
Yes.
which I'm sure we will come back. I can already see the demand, so we'll definitely be back with it. So we've now understood that weight issues should not be dealt just cosmetically. It should
True.
be dealt medically, and it
disease,
can
yes.
be dealt medically, and definitely with homeopathy, because we can see that it is safe, it has no side effects, it is scientific, and it is effective. So we'll need to close the session today, but we promise to be back, just like I promise every time. All I'd like to say is your life is like a bank account, and all the choices that you make are the investments that you make for your life. Fat loss is one loss that is worth the gain. A year from now, you will wish that you started today. So don't regret, take your action today. Thank you once again for being a part of this webinar. Stay tuned to know about our next webinar on our website. That's www.drbatras.com/webinar. You can also follow us on our Facebook page and Twitter handle to get all our other details. It's been really interesting journey till now in our last 5 webinars, and I look forward to more interesting webinars along with you to provide health solutions at your fingertips. Have a healthy day.
Thank you.